This one is for UFC 275 co-main event, Valentina Shevchenko against Taila Santos. Wow, I mean, we're kind of searching for a fighter that can beat Shevchenko at this point. She's such a dominant champion that whenever a fighter gets put in front of her, you kind of go, oh, well, how long is this going to last? And, are they able to get into the fight at all? Valentina Shevchenko, of all the fighters in the UFC and of all the champions that we've had, Shevchenko reminds me the most of Demetrius Johnson. And I know that's an odd connection, but the rhythm of their fights is very similar. If you watch a Shevchenko fight, if you watch a Demetrius Johnson fight, it's very difficult to pick out highlights. They kind of cruise somewhere between third and fourth gear. They'll step up if they need to. They don't ever go on like these mad flurries where they overextend themselves. They don't get wild and they don't give their opponents opportunities to get into the fight. Of course, DJ was caught a couple of times against some really high level opposition of it in his in his weight class, John Dodson and the like. But for me, Shevchenko at this weight class, I feel like she can do this to everybody, and that's kind of, I guess, why there's less interest around her fights. The same as there was with Demetrius Johnson, because he gives you so few options to capitalize on anything that it's almost a shutout. And Valentina Shevchenko has been shutting fighters out in her title reign, well, since she's been the title holder. She's, if it's not a unanimous decision, it's ground and pound from crucifix. And it's a very safe position. It's the ideal fighting style to go into a tournament of MMA and have multiple fights in a night or multiple fights over a week. Like, if Shevchenko was one of the fighters in the IMAF tournament, the amateurs, she would be fine over days and days of competition because she doesn't take damage, she doesn't take risks, and her opponents barely ever get into the fights. So a quick look at the stats. So Shevchenko 22-3, Taila Santos 19-1. That one is a split decision loss over 3 rounds. Now Santos has never done 5 rounds as well, which is worth mentioning, and Shevchenko is an expert at going 5 rounds. Santos has a 1-inch height advantage and a 2-inch reach advantage. Striking output is relatively the same. I mean, everything about that is relatively the same, to be honest. Striking output, striking accuracy, striking defense. The only point of difference is that the level that Taila Santos has been fighting on and the level that Shevchenko has been fighting on. So those stats look stronger on Shevchenko's part, purely based on the fact that the stats were gathered against a higher level of opposition. Average takedowns per 15 minutes, slightly higher again for Shevchenko, 2.62 to 2.44. But then you look at the takedown accuracy and takedown defense, and they're on Santos's side, 86% takedown accuracy. And she's not taking people down a lot, but when she is, she's successful almost all the time. And takedown offense at 88%. I mean, that's a championship takedown offense. And then, an average of a submission attempt per 15 minutes.